so as you guys approach the village, you see that it is in ruins. Houses burnt down, and the place is completely in disrepair. Even the ground itself seems almost ruined.
Mm-hmm.
It's not pictured, but there are bodies strewn about, some charred, some just like they were stabbed through or sliced or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say that this one over here is your house. One on the top right.
I'm gonna go to that one first.
Okay, so as you begin to approach, you see a beast emerge from the house. Roll for initiative.
Damn.
Okay, so you are a 6.
Mm-hmm.
And initiative will not be done by group for you.
Okay.
So I'll need a roll for her.
20.
Damn. That's crazy. 9. Okay, so the order is Hista, then the monster, then you.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, and you see this big bear-like monster with these big moose antlers as it sort of stands up, like almost onto 2 legs, but not quite, almost ape-like, approach from your old house. You guys begin your sort of battle.
First thing I'm gonna do then is cast mag towards me.
Sure. And that just happens. And that's a bonus action.
And then we're gonna start moving towards the beast. That's 10, so I don't know. Or I don't know if you want to move during this so you can put where you think is fair, but
look, you could just move freely, and I'll just tell you if it's too much.
I was just gonna move into like melee range.
Yeah, that about there is fine.
Okay. That's considered melee range or no?
No, that wouldn't be considered melee range. But that I'm saying like that'd be like good movement distance.
Okay.
Okay, so the beast will approach and will attack her. But get a critical failure and will actually stumble past and lose. It is now off balance.
Okay.
And so its AC is slightly reduced during off balance because it's harder for it to dodge.
Okay, while I'm fighting this, can I do a quick perception check to see if this is the beast that was described?
Sure. I'll say that's bonus action. You can do a perception check as bonus action.
Okie dokie. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, you're not able to discern it.
Okay,
But you're glad that you
cool.
did that now, so you don't get the 1 for your attack.
I guess so. I'm going to move into range here.
Okay.
And with the...
Keep in mind your spell is range. You don't have to be in melee to do your spell.
What's like a good range then?
As long as you can
show
see
me where
them,
I'm out of melee range.
I mean, just a little bit of distance between the tokens is out of melee range. Because the tokens need to be almost touching for it to be considered melee.
Okay, cool.
They have to be
So
pretty
this
close.
is my attack.
Okay, it's
Cool.
critical. So,
And then I need to
hopefully-
roll a d4, right? Because I got the whatchamacallit, so I'm going to cast Thana.
Thana, so you'll roll a d6 plus a d4 for the spell? Or for the,
Okay.
for mag? I don't know, I don't have the sheet up right now.
We look for mag.
It is...
Plus 1d4 to self/ally next magic.
That'd be for the roll you just did. It's plus 1 to the damage.
Oh, okay. Then that's actually a 22, because I didn't put that on.
Well, it's a critical, so it hits regardless. Okay.
Cool.
So even if their armor class is like a 21, if you roll a 20, a critical will always hit.
Yeah.
Critical pierces.
Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah, if it's a 20, you don't even need to worry about your modifiers.
I am going to cast Thana then on it
Right.
for a 3. And it'll be a 4.
That's a 4.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have the +1 from Mag, and you're also from your race. Your tribe gets a +1. So that's a 4, so that means 8 damage.
Bang.
Okay, yeah, we are, nothing happens during the environment, so top of the turn.
Okay. Then we are gonna cast Slice. First with this. She doesn't have that +1.
So you'll treat it as if it's just a normal dex attack, since she has a dex weapon. The extra D3 is added to the damage.
Okay.
So it is still just a normal dex for the attack roll.
The dex is a +1. Fuck. That
does not hit. And so the creature will, having recognized you as a massive threat as you've sort of drained its sort of energy and decayed it, it's going to lunge towards you. Hista will get a opportunity attack, so give me a damage roll for Hista. Just a basic attack.
Damage roll, so that's gonna be a what? At a 6? At a 2? Like,
that'll be whatever you have her equipment page, yes? So that'll be weapon damage, weapon 1 and 2. Because she gets a free attack with both.
So should I just do it as a D6?
No,
they're separate. D2, or just do them. Okay, cool. 1d4.
Because she gets a +1 on both of them, I believe.
And do they have modifier? These won't have modifiers now.
The dagger is dex.
So she have her dex.
Does the claws...
Yeah, it says plus dex. So
okay. Then you'll add the +1. So you're getting at least 2 damage. Well, at least 4.
For the dagger.
Okay, yeah, max damage 5.
And then this is for the claws.
Okay, yeah. So an extra 7 damage.
Okay.
Give me 1 moment so I can jot down the damage. Okay. Okay, yeah, so it goes towards you and is going to make a attack on you with its claws.
Does not hit.
Okay, does not hit, and it will use its legendary action. Because this is a boss type enemy. It only gets 1 charge though. So he is going to go for a slam attack on you.
Okay.
Hey, a 19. That definitely hit you.
Fucking +6?
It's a legendary attack. What do you expect?
Fuck him. He ain't legendary. He's about to be put on a fucking t-shirt.
It only added 4 to the attack.
He's about to be put on a fucking t-shirt is what he is. He ain't gonna be legendary after this shit.
Okay, and it does 4 damage to you.
Bitch. Okay. Then I'm going to... Now that I'm just rolling a normal d20. I don't have a +1 because mag isn't casted anymore, correct?
Yes, it is a one-time use.
Okay. So that's just this. Okay, assuming that hits, no?
Yep, that hits.
Okay. Let me just adjust what I have the magic at right now. All right, I
One
am.
off of a crit.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to go ahead and hit him with Thana again.
Okay, sure.
5.
Okay. I have the notes down. Also, remember, tell me what you're doing before you do the attack roll. So, like, before you roll the 19,
Okay.
that's whenever you would say it. So that way it's not like, okay, yeah, I'm doing an attack. I made an attack roll. Okay, I decide to use this now. You have to sort of lock it in before you do any kind of roll.
Okay. And then I'm going to kind of jump around to kind of work my way back towards Hista.
Sure. Okay, top of the turn.
Hista is gonna move in and is gonna cast Slicer. She says that. Hit or no hit?
That is not a hit. She
She
does have a +1 still on a hit, though. Okay. The monster will make another attack at you. It's not hit.
Alright. Let's see if I hit. Why is it taking forever to roll the fucking dice? Okay. It took forever to roll it, so I rolled it again, but they were both 10, so that misses.
Okay. Yeah, it was probably like... Yeah, it was probably the system
Or some shit.
having to, like, load it, so it just duplicated it. The same roll. Yeah, so you just... Yeah, you miss an attack.
There's nothing else we can do, so we're just kind of chilling. I mean, I guess we'll take a step back.
Well, if you move away, that will... Opportunity.
No, like, I'm just at more distance. Like, I get it doesn't really matter. We're gonna be whatever, just leave it.
Yeah, I mean, you can make distance, but if you move out of melee range,
Okay, well,
then
never
that
mind.
is what initiates the opportunity. Okay.
Then
Well,
that's
the 10 was you, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Hista's turn. Because the turn order
No.
is her, then the monster, then you. So if you just went, it's her turn.
The monster didn't. Oh yeah, the monster missed, huh?
Yeah, he missed.
That's right.
Yeah, he has Bloodlust for you.
Okay,
11 is a
that
miss.
misses again.
Another miss.
Miss. Fucking finally.
Okay.
All right.
Remember, you're supposed to tell me the attack before, so that way I know if you're doing spell or melee.
God damn it! I keep thinking attack.
I'm
assuming
you're good.
spell.
You're good. You're still like adjusting to this to
just
the new
call
system.
it fucking armor class. Don't call it attacks. I think it's me doing damage.
Well, it's
Did
you making the attack. Your damage is the damage roll. Basically, just as soon as your turn starts, before you do anything, say what you're doing, then do it.
I'm casting Thana to kill this fucking thing. I've had enough of this shit. Since that's a crit, doesn't it double?
Now it does double, so that's an extra 14. Okay, you can see that it is in very rough shape. It is still kicking though.
Jesus Christ. Or whatever the god is in this region. Let's go with... We're gonna cast the Slicer.
Keep in mind that the support spells are bonus actions, so you can use those as well. Or you can also use your bonus action to do the claw attack, which is low damage, but...
Well, not whenever the fucking... It doesn't break the AC, I can't do shit.
Well, the secondary attack would be a separate roll. Like the claws, you could roll a new attack for the claw attack. Because it's a separate attack.
We'll do that. You said she has a +1. I haven't been adding that, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it still wouldn't have hit. This does hit. Okay, so roll for claw attack. For damage.
Alright. It is a D2 +1. Got a 2.
Okay. Yeah, so again, it is in very rough shape. It looks like it's about to fall over and die.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it will make its move towards you. I say 12.
Yeah, I have an 11.
Okay, so that does hit. That's number lock. For 5 damage.
Ugh.
That puts you at what, 4?
Yeah.
Okay, and as that hits you, you sort of fall to your knee. You're in pretty rough shape as you start to... Your vision starts to fade for a moment. And
Okay.
as it begins getting more and more hazy, it feels as though something else is affecting you other than the monster's attacks. And your vision goes completely black before you wake up in a small room in what looks to be some kind of center area around a temple. Like you're sort of in an open area. There's a nice like fountain. There's some plants strewn about, and then you see some doors entering, one north, south, east, and west. But they all are closed right now, as you're sort of in this random temple-type area.
Okay.
You're unsure of where you currently are.
What the fuck?
So, yeah, you just shout out, "What the fuck?" as you turn and you see a cloaked figure walk out from the northern door. Well, you know it's northern because it has a N above it. And someone approaches out of it. You can't tell who it is because of the cloak. It looks like a very old gray and tan sort of torn up robe. And you can't see anything about this person. But they walk out, and as they walk out, they look at you. What do you do?
Who are you? Where am I? I'm gonna ask, what the fuck? I'm like, who are you? What am I doing here?
And they ignore the first question, and they say, "So, you must be the one who has awoken that power."
If it seems like it, yeah. Still, who are you? I was just in my village, or what's left of it. What am I doing here?
And they say that who they are hasn't mattered for a very long time. But what does matter is what you're doing right now. And you see that a strange energy seems to be flowing around you. A very strange, sort of orangish energy is just sort of loosely floating around you. It's like small, like glowing particles, almost.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see that they sort of lash onto you as your attire begins to change into like a sort of nice-ish noble attire. So not the sort of rugged adventuring type clothes that you were wearing, that you still had on from going on your trading trip, but now a sort of almost formal attire.
Mm-hmm.
With these, not all over, but occasionally these strange glowing orange markings along it. And these markings are even across your skin, as you feel this immense power sort of just swell in you. And this person walks over to you, and they say, "So, you are the one that I've been waiting for. Or perhaps just one of many. But I feel that you were in the middle of something, were you not? You should return." As they put their hand on your chest, and you immediately sort of warp back to the battlefield, as it appears as though nothing has changed in terms of time.
What fucking ayahuasca trip did you just fucking send me on?
You see that you still have this nice attire on, these glowing, this glowing ability is still flowing around you as you feel yourself empowered with a new spell.
Ooh.
If you'll give me one moment. I believe it is this one. Okay, I'm going to DM it to you.
Okay.
Right, and you feel this spell blow through you, the necrotic energy growing. You have now gained your Zehut. Explanation later, but for right now, all you need to know is you've gained a resistance to necrotic damage, but you now also have a weakness to holy magic. And you've gained the spell. There is on there. I guess this one wasn't updated. It says 1 ZP. It's supposed to be 10 MP. But you will get a free use of this right now that you can use. So what it does is 1d3 plus 1 for every ally or companion you have. So for right now you have 3 companions. So you get 3 damage guaranteed. And you get to roll a d3.
Okay, fuck yeah.
So this one is free. Because of the Zehut's awakening, you have been restored to full health and magic.
Fuck yeah, let's go. What up then, though? Alright. Let me...
So go ahead and get... And this spell, the new ability you've awakened, the Soul Bullet, it is a guaranteed hit. You do not need to make an attack roll. It will always hit should you use it.
Okay, W. Then yeah, I'm about to roll this bitch out. D3 plus I have 3 companions, you said?
Yes.
And I have my 1 bonus thing, so that's plus 4.
It is not necrotic damage.
Oh.
You do not need to subtract, though. So the damage type is Almighty. Almighty negates your debuff.
Okay.
So your debuff for your race applies to everything except necrotic, where you get a boost, and it does not affect Almighty magic.
Okay, so I just gotta cast this D3. I got the... I guess it doubles to 12.
Well, that would be for if you made an attack roll. Well, you can still...
You know, it
you
always
can still
hit, so I didn't have to make an attack roll.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not a critical. So it wouldn't double. Okay, actually, I'm going to say make an attack roll, but just know that even if you get a 1...
It'll hit, but if I pass the AC, it has the chance to double.
If you hit a... No, I'm making you roll because... Well, actually, if you roll... Because if you roll a 20, it'll crit. So a 1 through 19 will only do base. A 20 will double it, though. So just know that your attack will hit. You don't need to beat their AC. It's just to see if you get a crit or not, to double it. So if you want, you can go ahead and make the roll till we see if it doubles. No. Okay, it doesn't matter because you were already at 36 damage. You did 6. It has 40 health, so it is dead.
Hey!
And the battle is over. And as soon as this happens, you see that that noble attire begins to fade, and the symbols disappear as your normal clothes. It sort of fades back into your normal clothes, and you feel that giant swell of energy sort of dissipate. And Hist is looking on in disbelief, like, what just happened?
I have no idea. I wasn't here for a moment, and then I came back too. I was some shadowy figure talking to me. Whenever I fell down, and No time passed, and I just had that close and this urge of power.
Well, that's certainly a story. I don't know when that could have happened in the battle. But regardless of your newfound strength, we seem to have won.
Yep. And maybe this could potentially be the beast that they were talking about at the inn. Now that I fought it, do I get to know or no?
You can know this was not the beast.
Okay, well, we'll still...
This just seems to be a very large and dangerous monster that has taken home in your destroyed village.
Well, we may as well skin it, and we could probably sell its pelt for something, and potentially its antlers.
So yeah, you skin its pelt, and it is of very high quality, as this was, like I said, a legendary creature, as it had legendary actions. So you imagine that this pelt, you've been around pelts for a long time in your time hunting for the village. You can tell that this is of good quality. So you could either make it into something of really high quality, or you could sell it for a lot of money.
I'm actually going to make it into really high quality. It's going to be a coat.
Okay, yeah, you could potentially make it into a coat or a cloak. Which, on the equipment sheet, I don't have a slot for cloak, but there is supposed to be one. I just haven't added it, because I forgot.
Okay.
But yeah, so there is a cloak slot, so you could make a nice cloak that may give you some advantages.
Okay.
But yeah, so you are now free to roam the village.
I'm going into my house.
Right, so you enter your destroyed house, Hista following behind. As you begin to search around, give me a investigation roll.
I'm fairly positive it's +1. She's getting a +1. Well, that's mine.
It is +0.
Okay, well, that's mine, which is +1. That's hers.
Okay, yeah, and you see a loose board, and as you pry it up, you do see what looks like the remnants of this armor that you saw, but it seems to be in very rough shape. Destroyed, the gems seem to be basically unusable, the armor itself is very rough. But Hista says, well, with the right craftsman, I'm sure it could be as legendary as it was in that document you were talking about.
I'm gonna cast my magic on it. Because I'm curious. He said that it was something that was supposed to be passed down to me. I'm wondering if maybe it will react whenever I cast a spell on it.
Okay, make a Arcana check, which I believe is intelligence. You do have proficiency, though, because of your race.
Oh.
You rolled a 1, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, so as you step up, you begin trying to use your magic, but there seems to be no reaction. But I assume you take the armor?
I was gonna just cast a really strong-ass spell on it and try it one more time, but I'm assuming I won't be able to.
No, you've already failed the roll.
Fucking hate this rolling shit. Alright, whatever. Just fucking take it.
Okay, so you can add to your equipment and items.
Can I see my fucking family's bodies anywhere at all, or no?
You do see your mother. You do see your mother's body in the bedroom of the house.
Any sign of my father?
You do not see your father.
Brother?
You do not see your brother.
Okay, so just.
But your brother was pretty young. He was probably like preteen.
Okay. Well.
So you don't see either of their bodies anywhere.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'll go bury my mom.
All right, so you go off to bury, and Hista just kind of leaves you to your own devices for the time being. Sort of let you have your moment.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Well, once I did that, then I guess just check the rest of the village to see if I'm able to find anything to help track me to those people or anything that could be of use.
So you do look around, and still going off of the 20 that you got, you look around and you do find a small emblem on the ground. It looks to be of some kind of noble house. You're unfamiliar with it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, make a history check.
And
So you discern that it is likely a house from the south, but you're not able to discern it.
mm-hmm.
And as you guys begin looking around, you don't really find much else that's that useful, but you do see Dimitri riding up on a horse.
Okay.
And as he approaches, he says, "So, what's the word from Protos?"
Say, well, the bishop is able to lend a helping hand. He's more than willing to, and perhaps you'll know something about this from my father, but this seems to be what he thinks may have been meant to get passed down to me. And the culprit is someone of the royal guard, and he expects that they'll be at the capital for the celebration happening. And you said it was on what day, the celebration?
The celebration will happen on the 9th.
Yeah, he says it's going to be on the 9th of this upcoming month. And I should also introduce you to my compatriots that I've met along the way, Hista and Otigos.
Right? And they both sort of, give like a wave as Dimitri says, "I should have figured that you would invite such a motley crew."
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I had expected you to find allies quickly, but perhaps not this quickly.
Oh, glad that I could overachieve then.
Right.
But anything that you found over in Dasos?
Well, it seems as though Dasos is bust. Our allies down there don't seem to be quite receptive to our plea.
Why is that?
They believe that since your father has presumably passed, that what they owe is not passed to you.
Well, let's go change that.
And Dimitri says that he has a plan to sort of get them to fall in line. But it'll take time.
What plan would that be?
He says that he has a contact a bit further south that should be able to negotiate and mediate the issue, per se.
I'm quite certain I could get my way to have them pay what they're owed.
And while he doesn't doubt you, he suggests that your course of action should be to establish yourself in the capital and prepare for the 9th, as it seems as like whenever you encounter him that it's exceedingly likely that a fight will ensue. So it might be a good idea for you to get up there, familiarize yourself with the land, and prepare for the upcoming battle.
Perhaps you're right. Very well. What I'm going to do is stop by Roumont as well and see if I can get into contact with them, as whenever I went the first time, there was a boulder preventing my entry. Have you ever been inside there? I know you've gone on trade run up there longer than I have.
Once when I was a boy I went down, but I didn't go very far before we were turned around.
You don't recall how the passage was open, do you?
If I recall it, some kind of geomancy spell should be able to remove the boulder. Though I suppose if you had something that could hit hard enough, you could just smash it yourself, without the need of magic.
And I don't suppose you have anything that could get that job done, could you?
Not on me, I'm afraid.
Any of you guys? I'm asking Hista and why the fuck did I just draw a blank on his name? Odigos.
No, they do not.
I go in there. All right. Well, perhaps what you might be able to do what I'll do is leave them a message and let them know what I'm doing. And if they're able to lend aid, they will. So I'll still swing by and deliver a message and leave it by the entry in hopes that they find it, because I imagine they were probably wondering what happened whenever we didn't show up for our standard trade.
Quite the clever plan. Well, I'll leave you to your devices then. It seems as though we both have a lot of work to do. As
We
Dimitri,
sure do.
As Dimitri hands you a small sack, and says, "This should help you along the way," as he gives you a small pouch of 1,000 gold.
And what of yourself? Certainly you're going to need money to fund your adventure.
As he then sort of taps a much larger sort of pouch that has other equipment it has other things than just gold, but he says, "I've got what I need here."
Oh, very well.
But he said, as the head of the noble house, it falls upon me to bestow it upon you. He says, "It's not much, but it should see you through for a while."
Let's hope.
Hey,
Very well. I'll make towards the capital now.
Hey, and you do feel incredibly exhausted, though, from that battle, despite the fact that you've never really felt that much fatigue from battle, especially one that wasn't quite as long. You do feel a heavy exhaustion fall upon you. You do get into the carriage and begin riding, before you guys exit the forest and make camp at night. As you go to sleep, you do wake up back in that strange area with the fountain at that temple, and it is nighttime there as well.
Okay.
And you do see the cloaked figure is not there right now.
I guess I'll walk through the north door.
Okay, you walk through the north door and it is unlocked. You are able to pass through. And upon entry, you do see a grand statue made of marble. And it vaguely resembles you, but it's very undetailed. And you can discern that it's you, but just, like I said, it's very undetailed. There's very little to notion anything other than sort of the face.
And that's all I see there in that room?
So that is sort of at the center of the room. You do see it's almost like a library. There's lots of books strewn about. On shelves, there's a few desks and chairs there, but there is no people. And there are candles lighting up on the wall and a chandelier on the left and right side of the room.
Interesting. I'm gonna kind of go through the books that are there and see what they contain.
And you see that almost all of them are written in languages that are unfamiliar to you. You have no idea telling what any of these mean. As you then hear someone approach and the door close behind the door closed from behind you while you're looking at the shelves, and you see the cloaked figure entering the room.
So, what am I to you? Why am I the centerpiece in this compendium of information?
Well, I don't decide what the room tells. It decides that on its own.
Is that why I can't understand its contents?
Perhaps. Though I trust that power served you well.
It did. Is that something that you bestowed, or? how did that? I've never felt that type of power before.
It is not something that I could have given you. But there might be something more to this. No one has came to this room in quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect there's something about you. But I can't say for certain.
What is your suspicion?
For now, not much. But we'll see in time.
Something tells me that it has to do with my family's artifact.
An artifact, you say? I'm unfamiliar with this.
Something tells me I don't believe. I shouldn't believe that.
I mean,
Something tells me
you
that you're
can
very
choose to make
familiar
an
with.
insight check, should you wish.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a fucking insight check. That motherfucker's lying.
Should just be wisdom.
13.
13. So you feel the weight of their words, and it seems as though they aren't lying in that statement. They don't seem to have any idea about the artifact, which you have been very vague about the artifact, but they don't seem to. It seems as though they were telling the truth whenever they didn't imagine the artifact having much to do with it.
Alright, you said there hasn't been anyone to come through here in quite some time. Well, who were the people before me?
Well, it's been many centuries.
All the more reason you'd remember the company.
But the heroes of old. This room denotes you as one such candidate for a hero.
A hero? Because of what happened to my family and how I plan to take vengeance is going to make me a hero?
Well, I don't know if your lineage has to do with anything. We'll see in due time. I'm sure more will reveal itself to us.
What is this place? How am I here?
This room
Twice
is...
now that I'm here whenever I've gone unconscious.
This room is nothing more than a waiting room, or something greater. It simply stores knowledge.
And am I to assume that in every one of those doors, besides this north one, they're all just like this?
Perhaps.
And I don't suppose, since you've closed that door, you plan on letting me go and check out those other ones, do you?
They say, and they open the door and they say, "You may try, but the doors are sealed. Not even I can open them."
But how did you open this one?
This door became unsealed only rather recently.
About how long?
Only but 2 days ago.
Interesting. Alright. So where have you been? You've just been sitting in that main corridor? I don't really know how this place looks entirely. But you've just been sitting in this main area? What role do you play in all this?
My role is but to guide you, per se.
You guide me through what? My path of becoming the hero that you think I'm going to be?
One interpretation. Perhaps, perhaps not.
And what's your interpretation?
I prefer to wait and see. See what becomes of you.
Alright, so why bring me here tonight?
I have not brought you anywhere.
Well, then who did?
That I cannot say. But should you evolve this power of yours, allow it to flourish, I feel that great things may follow.
Is that something that I'd be able to do here? Evolve my powers, or something that I can only do whenever I'm out in the real world?
Of that, we'll have to see. As you feel yourself begin to black out, and you wake up on the next morning.
Okay.
Okay, and you guys begin packing up and moving to the next camp.
All right.
And the reason you didn't get a traveling free time was because of your exhaustion, in case you were wondering.
I assumed.
Okay, and so as you guys reach the next camp, this is now the third time that you guys have camped here. It seems to be a very reliable spot.
Mm-hmm.
You do notice, while you guys are sort of camping out and cooking some food, that the woman that you paid for her room the other night begins walking. You can see her walking up from the distance.
All right. I'll wave hello and see how if she's doing all right.
And she walks over to your camp and says, "This is quite the strange place for us to encounter each other again."
Not entirely. Part of me, is it safe to assume that you reside in Ruant in the underground?
No, I do not reside within Ruant. But I was meaning to travel there.
I happen to have a good relationship with the people there. My village wasn't too far from there and we would trade frequently. Have you ever been there before?
I have not. But if you are traveling there and you are their friends, the gate must be open, yes?
Whenever I had gone there some time ago, about a week, it wasn't open. Perhaps it is now, but I haven't had the chance to see. I am going to be heading that way, though.
So they have sealed the door. Perhaps
They say it's supposed to be some sort of spell that can unlock it. Perhaps you being a member of the same tribe, you might be able to... You might have the affiliation with said spell to move the boulder.
I am not, but we may be able to see if there's another way.
You have my interest.
And then Hista hops into the conversation and says, "Well, if we're all traveling there, why not travel together?"
Might as well.
And this woman
Oh.
seems cautious but willing as she joins your camp for the night.
Sounds good. All right.
Okay, your nighttime is spent sort of dealing with that and having her introduced. So the next day, the group begins heading to Ruant for arriving at the tower. Upon checking it, she is unable to unseal it. But she says that she does know a way of leaving a message to where perhaps it could be unsealed on a specific date. Sort of leaving a message to basically tell them, hey, on this day, open the door.
Okay.
And she looks to you and says, "You seem to have already had something in mind."
On the 28th would be our time for our next trade, so why don't we set the date for the 28th?
Okay, so keep in mind, you will have to camp here tonight. So that'll make it the 26th when you wake up. So are you planning on staying in Ruant this whole time? Because otherwise you won't be able to make it anywhere in time.
The 28th.
So
and how
the
many days
28th would
take
be the
place
next time
to
that they emerge for trade.
So why
So-
don't we just leave a symbol for them to do it the next day?
So the 29th?
The 26th.
No, okay. So what I'm saying is they will emerge out on the 28th for trade, like normal. Okay?
Okay.
So if you leave a message for them to open it on the 28th, it's already going to be open because they're going to be out there. So it wouldn't make sense to leave a message for them to open it because it'll already be open.
Okay, so they're coming on the 28th no matter what. The message would be like, oh, leave it open on a day later than that. trying to think of travel. If I stay there till the 28th, will I be able to make it to the city at a decent time? How many
So,
days of travel is that?
1, 2, 3. Because every campsite or major location would be a day. So it'll take you 3 days to get to the capital, and you'll arrive at nighttime in the capital.
3 days from the 28th. That'll put me there at the 1st. It's on the 9th. That gives me 8 days. Yeah, that'll be good enough. Yeah, we'll just wait till the 28th.
Okay. So you begin to wait. Is there anything? This is sort of your free time. You are a bit limited because you are stuck in Rouen, and there is not really many activities to do here because it's just a ruined town. But is there anything you would like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, due to the newfound power that I have, I really need to understand what's going on with my powers. I'm gonna be in the ruined city, and I'm gonna just see if it, like, I don't know, it's the ruined city. It's probably dead shit. It's fucking abandoned. It's probably something that's gonna call to me. So I'm gonna go see if there's anything over there that calls me. So I'm gonna work on my magic.
Okay. So as you approach the ruined city, you feel a bit more power than whenever you were just out in the woods, but nowhere near around whenever you were in the crypt. Flow through you. So, do you develop your normal magic, or do you try to develop this new power that you found?
Well, I got 3 days, so both.
Yeah, well, what are you doing today?
The necrotic powers.
Okay, so you begin to work on your necrotic powers. As you've already practiced a bit, you begin practicing even more as you feel your power just surge as you train more and more. And you still don't have it blossom quite yet, but you feel as though you're right on the edge of a breakthrough.
All right. And I guess I do it again the next day since I feel so close.
Okay, so you spend the 26th also developing these powers as you feel your wisdom increase.
Cool.
Which you had a 49 wisdom?
Yep.
Okay, so you're now at 50, so you're now at +2, which is why it took a bit more, is because you were making the breakthrough to the next one. And so then you are on the 27th now.
All right. Then we'll work on that other power that I had.
Okay. Do you have any kind of clue on how you want to try this? Because you haven't felt that energy since the battle.
I'm gonna meditate and see if perhaps I sleep and I can get back to that place. I'm gonna ask him a question.
Okay, so you go to the center of the city.
Meditate or something to get back there.
And you begin meditating. As you go into this deep meditation, you do find yourself in that strange temple again.
Okay. Is the guy there?
They are not.
You say, hello, I know you're in here somewhere.
The person does not appear.
Let's try opening up these other doors.
So you try opening up the other 3 doors and none of them budge. It doesn't seem as though they're locked by, well, a lock, but it seems as though it's a magic seal that is keeping them closed.
Let's try to rot it away with my spell.
Okay, go ahead and give me a roll.
I need to do an attack roll or no?
Yeah, just give me an attack roll.
19.
19. Yeah, so you cast your spell and you feel that it does begin to rot the door, but this magic seal on it sort of prevents it from destroying the door. So it seems as though your magic does work in this place, But it seems as though these doors will not be undone. Whatever magic is holding them, it seems like it is very powerful.
All right then. Let's head into the north room then.
Okay, so you head back into the north room and you see that the statue is unchanged. It's still very unrefined, undetailed. Really, your face is the only thing that's kind of detailed on it. Everything else is just kind of vague, humanoid body. And you begin looking around, and again, similar to how before you didn't really get much out of the books, you still don't really feel much, but once you get close to the center of the room, basically in front of the statue, you do feel that energy sort of swell within you. As you do feel a deep connection with it. And as the symbols begin to glow on you and your clothes begins to shift back into that noble attire, the noble attire is very loose. It is very almost torn at like the edges of like the sleeves and the coat jacket, almost as if it's been through many rough battles. And you do feel a voice echo into you. And it says, "The fallen noble. Harbor this power, and it shall serve you well." And the voice sounds very similar to your own. As you do see the symbols begin to light up, exactly where it is on your skin, it lights up on the statue as well. But then it begins to fade, and you can feel as though your connection with this power has grown slightly, and you feel as though you can come back to this place a lot easier now. But also, you can now summon this power at will.
Okay. Let me go to the door that I couldn't get into and use the power.
It still does not allow you to enter. But you have gained something new. You can use your Zehut with your normal abilities now. So you can use it to amp up your spell, or any of your magic. And it will make it to where your magic will go from a D6 to a D8. But it will consume 1 extra MP.
So it'll consume 5 instead?
It'll consume 5, and it'll go from a 6 to an 8.
Okay, and then if I launch that thing on its own, it consumes 10?
Yes, you can't boost the soul bullet. But you can...
No, I know that, but if I use just the soul bullet, it's worth 10.
Yes.
Okay. Then fuck it.
Let's cast one of those on those doors.
Still
Boost
no
the
reaction.
Thana with it.
But you
And
do
with
feel
the-
that as you've used your MP, this room's, this temple, really, the energy sort of flows back into you as you feel your MP recharge.
Then let's start going all out and training with it in here.
All right, and well, you train with it, and that is sort of your development, is that you feel that now you can use your Zehut, of which your Zehut is the Fallen Noble. And you can feel that you can now use it to boost your Thana spell in the real sort of the like actual world, right? You can use it now in combat.
Yeah.
And then you begin to realize that you're back in Ruant as the sun is setting. And you head back to your small campsite with your allies as the 28th approaches.
All right.
I should probably going to include this. So that way you can actually see the deadline. Okay, and
Cool.
so as you approach, you do see the door open and these Equities leave the cave.
All right, I'll go meet him.
Right, and you meet them, and they seem amazed whenever they see the pelt that you have, that you got from the monster in the village. And they say, wow, is that what you're trading this time?
Fortunately, I don't have much to trade. I assume you noticed that we weren't able to make our trade deadline last week, correct?
I was curious about that.
Well, it was in relation to that smoke that we saw. It seems that all but myself, Dimitri, who usually accompanies me, and my father and brother, who are presumably dead, although I didn't find their bodies, all of my village have perished. We were raided, and I know that their killer is in the capital and will be there during the celebration that is to happen in 11 days. I come for you now as the head of my house, asking for assistance. We've maintained a steady line of trade for as long as I can remember, and I'm sure much before. I need to know if I can count on you as an ally to go take vengeance on the man who murdered my whole village.
And what is it you would ask of us?
Whatever it is that you're able to provide, whether that be an ally in the upcoming battle that may happen, or support in any way that you're able to provide.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Oh,
So, really all they are just trade partners. It's not like there was any deep connection like with the bishop in Protos or, you know, anything like that. You guys were just trade partners. So they don't feel a whole lot of, like, need to help out. They are willing to throw you a bit of a bone, where they do offer you 3 more lesser gems for you to sort of get some money for assistance, but they say that's really all that they can provide for you.
then if I do appreciate the help, perhaps there is something that you may be able to do in helping me further this power that I have. I know that your your tribe's affiliation does
Remember
seem
that
to...
theirs was changed to dark.
Yeah, there's more dark. I'm saying maybe they can help out with something like that. Maybe they've seen something like this with more dark type magic.
So whenever I say dark, I don't mean dark, I mean like shadow magic.
Well, maybe you could teach me stuff about it.
And they say that they have heard of people who do have a very similar type of magic. And they ask if you are familiar with them. A sort of subsection of the 6th tribe, the Maikita. Those small mushroom people. They reside in both the underground, but in much lesser numbers on the surface as well. And they say that perhaps one of them might be able to teach you something further on the subject.
Are you able to give me guidance or guide me to where they'd be found so I can convene with them?
So they say that they're not familiar with the surface. You're really the only person. You and Dimitri are the only two that they interact with, really. So
You said
that they
underground.
couldn't say. Well, like pointing you towards some on the surface.
No, so they wouldn't show me any of the ones that are underground?
No. Keep in mind that you did roll a 3, so they are very hesitant.
Alright, well, what does the other chick need?
What, the woman that was with you?
Yeah, what does she need?
So she approaches them and begins asking about if they have any of some kind of item that you've never heard of. And they say that they do not. And she seems kind of distraught about it. And give me a intelligence roll.
11.
Right, and as they begin talking, they do begin to weave off and start using a dialect and using words that you're not too familiar with, but you are able to pick up from some of it that you have heard from your time trading in Rwanda. As you realize that she's actually talking about a special kind of poison that apparently she is planning on using on someone in the capital that is part of a conspiracy. But they do not appear to have any. And Hista does not seem to understand what they're talking about. Because, you know, she doesn't have the sort of experiences that you do.
This person in the capital that you're searching for, do you have any description of him?
And with that, the two traders, they begin to depart.
Okay.
Okay, so now you're just left alone with the people who were at camp.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask the one chick, that person that you're looking for, what, like, this is description, what does he look like?
And she begins describing, and the person seems very unfamiliar to you. She says that it's a shorter man of the second tribe. But whenever she starts describing items in his possession, it does pique your interest because she does describe his red robe, which seems very familiar.
And you know he's in the capital for certain.
She says,
Hold on a second.
You good?
Yeah, no, I am.
Okay. And she says, yes, I know he will be in the capital because there's no way he would miss the celebration for the royals.
It seems me and you are going for the same place then. This poison that you need, do you know what ingredients it takes?
The ingredients cannot be found on the surface. But I will make do. Other means are available.
Well, we're heading to the capital now. Would you like to accompany us? It would definitely make your travel much faster and allow you to get set up in the capital. Perhaps you'd be able to find the ingredients that you require.
Indeed, it would be quite wise for me to hitch a ride. It would definitely save time, as I'd be cutting it close traveling on foot. I will take you up on your offer.
All right. We don't have much time to waste. Let's head on over.
Okay, and you guys begin to head out. You arrive at the first camp. You now have traveling free time for that night.
What I'm gonna go ahead and do is I am just gonna chat around the group, see what's going on.
Okay, if you pick someone, we'll say that you spend the evening with them.
We'll go with Hista.
Okay, so you approach his.
I don't know the other girl's name.
So her name is Vilra.
Vilra. Okay, maybe I'll have a conversation with both of them.
We're saying
Same
that
time.
for you picking your time, you pick one person, and that'll be sort of how you spend your free time. Sort of like in
Alright,
Dord, where you
fine.
could pick one person to hang with for that allotted time. It's sort of like that.
Then we'll just go with Hista.
Right, and so as you approached Hista, who was, sharpening her knife, you walk up.
Just gonna kind of see. I'm basically saying sorry for taking you away or prolonging your journey. I know you were hoping to be in the capital by now, but I do really appreciate you coming here.
Well, being delayed by a few days isn't that big a deal. Plus, I mean, who can say that they've gone to a hidden village to fight a legendary creature?
That's true too. I suppose that does help your resume for becoming a royal knight. Although I will say, once we do get to the city, I mean, you know what my plans are. I don't know if you're wanting to be associated with us in that regard, with the corrupt royal knight that murdered my village. I don't know if that's something you want to be. I don't know if you want to be a part of that coup.
Well, I'm sure that whatever happened didn't have to do with the knights themselves. Well, we'll have to see what happens upon arrival.
Suppose we will.
Right, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can fucking. I don't know anything about her. Besides, because she was just a nomadic person. Is this going to be the first time she's going to the capital?
Yes.
Cool. So have you heard anything about the capital then? I know this is probably your first time going.
Well, one thing I'm excited about is that I've heard that it's quite the melting pot. So many different people, all mixed together in one giant place.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too, but I know you do have to be careful in terms of where your tribe standing is. I know sometimes they don't take too kindly to people that are deemed of a lower tribe. So just make sure to keep your wits about you, because you may not all be as friendly as we are.
Of course.
Alright, I guess that's it. There's
All
not
right.
really anything else I got to bring up.
Alright, and you felt that your bond slightly got stronger, but you guys rest and awake on the next day. And you awake to the sound of hearing a couple horses ride up, as it seems as though there's an attack.
Us or who? Like, attack what?
There's an attack happening at the camp that's riding up to attack you guys. I'm about to
Okay.
move you to the next thing. I just have to throw some stuff on it.
Okay.
Right, and this is the scene that you find. As you do recognize that, again, these knights that you see are soldiers. They're not knights, but these soldiers in their metal armor, it is very reminiscent of the ones that attacked your village. And you can tell that they do not wear the royal colors. They do wear the colors of that commander that attacked the village.
Perfect.
Okay, so go ahead and roll initiative.
9. For Hista.
Okay.
I don't have the stuff for the other two, so I'm assuming that that's all you.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, 5.
Who's
Damn
that
it.
for?
That is for Vilra. And then this will be for the guards collectively, as a group. / horde. A 9. Which matches you, you will go first. We'll say that there's player preference. Should there be a tie, it will lean to player.
Cool, so it's Hista, me, soldiers, and then Vilra.
And then Vilra. And because
Cool.
you and Hista are teammates, you guys can act interchangeably or together.
Awesome.
I'm just gonna do this so it's easier. We'll put ourselves together. Very well. She'll move there because all her shit is melee range. And I'll have her pass mag over to me.
Okay.
Where the hell is the sheet with her name? There we go. And she has a total of how much MP one more time? It was 11. Or no, I think it was 13 is what she had.
Who, Hista?
Yeah,
Hers was 11,
it was 11.
and then she got the +3 from level up.
So she's at 14.
Yeah, so she's at 14, and you should be at 15.
Yes. Cool. So she's casting mag onto me, so now she's at 12. She's not close enough to do any melee stuff, so obviously she's not doing that.
Okay.
Is she able to get close enough?
Sure, yeah, I would say so.
So then I could attack.
Yeah, because we'll say this is a very small map, so movement is quite easy. It is a very small map.
And then she does not have the +1. No, she does have the +1 for attack.
Yes, because it's Dex.
20.
Yep, that's a hit.
She is going to cast the Slicer, which is 3, and it is a D3.
Yeah, just remember to say attack or spell before attack roll.
Yeah, that's gonna be a thing for a while.
Yeah, it's you're good. You're good.
Boom. She doesn't have any additions to that.
It's dagger attack. Yeah.
Oh,
dagger
yes,
attack.
it would be. So then,
Dagger attack's a D4 +1. So if you want to re-roll it as a D4.
Cool. Got 5.
Okay. Yeah. So instead of doing 1 damage, it does 5 damage.
Cool.
Okay, and then can't do claw attack because bonus action was casting mag.
Yep. And then I'm gonna do my roll. 12. Does that break?
What are you?
Attack?
Who are you
Oh
targeting?
shit. Well, first
what,
of
what
all,
are you doing and who are you targeting?
casting-
Because they have different ACs.
I'm casting Thana,
Okay.
and I'm attacking this dude.
Okay, a 12 does hit.
Ooh.
Barely. The AC is 12.
Cool. Awesome. So then I cast 1d6 plus 2. I get a 6 plus 2. I get the 8.
Yeah. So 8 damage. You're loving those effects, aren't you?
It's just funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and keep in mind you can still, for the extra MP, you can boost it to a D8 instead of a D6.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I'm just reminding you that you have that ability in case during the break that was forgotten.
Yeah. And then I'm going to move up.
Okay.
Now it's done.
So we'll go from right to left for them. And they will do a melee attack on Hista. Or does not hit. Next will be the one in front of you who will be attacking you. For does not hit. And next will be the one to the left who will be casting a spell. You see that he begins to wind up a spell but it misses you as he throws a fireball in your direction.
Okay.
And that the spell actually seems to have burnt him slightly whenever he cast it, because it seems as though there was an error in his whenever he made it.
Okay.
So he took. I'll do a roll for him doing self damage for burning himself. Max damage. Okay, so he takes 3 damage of burning damage.
Okay. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my staff here, or my staff. Is it, you calling it a staff, or what was it, a bow? It was a.
Your weapon is a staff.
Yeah, just a basic staff. So yeah, we're gonna use that on the guy right in front of me. Assuming that goes.
Oh, sorry, I was. Yeah, 20. Yeah, that's definitely a hit.
Oh.
Yeah, so those guys, their AC is 12. So if you get a 12
Yeah,
or
no.
higher, you're good.
+1, get that. I get a 3.
All right, and you can see that seems to have done a lot of damage. You see that he looks like he's in really rough shape.
Cool.
Especially after you cast your very powerful spell on him.
Yeah. All right. Then Hista will go through and use the. We'll go with her dagger. Never mind, she won't.
It does not hit.
Okay. What was it?
Anything with the bonus action?
Oh wait, you skipped homegirl.
Oh, yeah, you are right. I did forget about that. It's because she's on your side, so yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll just have her go now, and then she'll still go when she normally would go. Okay, so she's going to step up and cast... Be +1. That is the wrong place to paste.
You can duplicate them. Interesting.
No, actually. Okay, so she's targeting the one in front of you. 17, so her cast does work. And it is a d6. Okay, and you see that she sort of swells this black shadowy energy in her hand and then unleashes it on the guy in front of you, and it sort of just swells the guy before he drops dead.
Cool. Alright. Now it's the soldiers.
Okay, and I am actually going to refund you your thing because her 4 would have killed it before your turn happened anyway. So
refund me my...
Yeah, so your second... So the turn that you just did, where you attacked him with your staff, that is refunded. That didn't happen. So you have your action again. Because...
Why don't I just apply all that to this guy?
That's fine. So we'll say that the 3 damage happens to this guy.
Yep, so he's taking 6, but I'm gonna keep this guy alive. I'm gonna keep both of these guys alive.
Okay.
So I... Just for reference, if I do land a blow that would finish it off, it's basically just knocking it out. Or
Okay, so you signal to
Making
your
sure they can't fight
allies that you want to pick one prisoner.
I want to take both of them.
Both of them
Both
prisoner.
of those two.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And
Now
then
it's her turn.
he already went and missed, correct? Or
Oh no,
yeah,
no,
she
he
got
hasn't
the 10.
gone yet. So what the storyteller has, that was just her. But you said you were gonna let her go after, where she would go again. So it's the soldiers now, because it was us.
Yeah,
the
that's
soldiers,
what I'm
and
saying.
her.
Heista already went, so it's the soldier's turn now.
Yes, yeah. I thought you were talking about
Vilra, no. I was talking
Vilra.
about. I was talking about Heista.
Oh, then yeah.
Then we'll go right to left. First attack's on Heista. 10, that's a miss. And next will be the guy in front of you, who will go in for a melee attack. 13, that does hit. and he does 2 damage to you.
Okay.
Okay, it is now Vilra's turn. As she will again cast her shadowy spell. And it's against the one that's attacking you.
Okay.
So again, d6. Another 3 damage. Damn, that guy just keeps getting hit by 3s.
Mm-hmm.
That's his 3rd 3 against him. Okay, back to you and Hista.
Alright, I'm taking my staff and knocking the guy out.
Okay, 17. Yeah, we'll say that you and Hista are now using non-lethal attacks. So
Okay.
if he's done in by a melee, then it will just knock him out.
Did 4 damage.
4 damage. That is... It does not knock him out.
Okay.
But you can tell that he is very weak now.
Okay, well, Hista is going to... I mean, she's really only got daggers. I don't know what she can do to, like, not kill him. Maybe just, like, I don't know, fucking gouge his eyes or something like that. I don't know. Like, some non-lethal attack to not kill
If
the
it
guy.
does finish the guy off, I'll figure out how to make it work.
Ooh. Well,
11 does not hit. Okay, so now the soldiers will go. Again, they're just going for attacks. That one misses. This does hit you. Almost a crit. Does 1 damage to you.
okay.
And I realized I was forgetting to add their modifier on damage, but I'm not gonna retroactively give you more damage.
Oh, good.
Okay. Vilra will move up to assist you. And... hers is +1. 16, that hits. 2 damage. And that puts it at... Okay, just enough. So she doesn't stab him with her, 'cause she's using a rapier, a very eloquent sword.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't stab him with it. Instead, she hits him on the side of the head while he's engaged with fighting you. And it knocks him out.
Cool. All right.
Okay, that is her turn.
I will go to help out my main chick, Hista. No, I won't.
Does not hit. Also does not hit. You do still have bonus action.
Fuck it. Use the claws.
Remember, you do have a physical version of mag you can use.
Physical version? Oh yeah. Eh. Let's just have Hista do the claw attack, but I still gotta roll for it.
Yep, that does hit. Now roll D2 plus dex.
2 plus 4. Did 3.
Alright. And it does seem like he's taken a decent amount of damage, but he still has a good bit of fight left in him.
Okay.
As he will go for another strike on Hista. Does hit. Seven damage to Hista. The other guy's knocked out. Philra will go for a attack. Same as before, but she will miss.
Cool. I'm taking the staff and I'm knocking him the fuck out with it. I didn't say it before, but I said it now. Fuck it.
Okay.
What the fuck? Half for D3. 4 damage.
Okay, and that does knock the guy out. Barely.
fucking
You hit
God.
his health exactly. If you rolled a 2 or a 1, he would still be up. So, because they had 12 health except for the spellcaster who had 15.
All right, cool. I'm interrogating the shit out of him.
Okay, well they're
I'm asking,
currently knocked out. So do you like just sit until they awake? Obviously, I mean, I assume you tie him up, but
Yeah, we tie him up and see if any of them know a spell that could wake him up.
they do not. But I mean, you can try just like shaking them awake.
And we'll give it a shot.
Okay, give me a normal roll. D20. So you managed to wake up the guy on the left. You don't manage to wake up the spellcaster though.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna see what his affiliation is with the red coat guy and the one knight in black.
Okay, make a persuasion roll, or actually make an intimidation roll, because, well, okay. What do you say to him?
Well, I'm just gonna ask him what his affiliation is with it at first, and I'm gonna tell him if he doesn't give me what he wants, he's gonna regret it. So it's gonna be intimidation.
Okay, make an intimidation roll.
Literally 0.
Okay, yeah, the guy is not willing to give you anything.
Okay, cool. So what I'm gonna do is take off the metal armor for his leg.
Okay, sure.
I'm going to place my hand on his leg, and I'm going to cast Thana and slowly start decaying his leg until he starts talking to me.
Okay, give me the damage roll for Thana. Since it would be impossible for you to miss.
It is, or impossible? You said it's impossible.
It's impossible to miss this. So just give me the damage.
5.
Yeah, so you do that, and his leg just decays like crazy. He's probably gonna have to get amputated, as he worldly is like just yelling for you to stop.
Well, if you want me to stop, you better start talking. Otherwise, your whole body's gonna go.
And he says he can tell you what he knows, but he's on the lower level. He just does what he's told. But he'll tell you what he does know if you stop.
Oh, well, I'm not stopping until you start talking. You better give me something useful.
And he says the man in the black suit. He doesn't know anything about the man in the red robe, but the man in the black armor is Captain Lorraine.
What does he run what you guys do?
He says that he's just the captain for their section of the guard. It's more of the on the private side as opposed to the royal. So for reference, the way that the military is broken up in the kingdom is that there's the royal guard, which basically owes its loyalty directly to the crown. There's sort of like the local guard, which would be like, so like your father ran a count. He was a count. He would have guards that would fall under him, right? Obviously, for the village, that wasn't really that pressing of a thing, so there weren't many. It was basically just Dimitri. But that's how that would work. And then there's the private guard, which is, they're almost like mercenaries, but they do technically still, they're not full mercenaries. They still fall under the guard, but yeah, they're seen as a more offshoot kind of thing that's more so just kind of left to its own devices and only called for when absolutely needed.
Okay.
So they're from that part, the private section.
Let's say there was a village not too far from here. What do you know about it? It was attacked.
I don't know. Another squadron went over there to torch it or something.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm gonna do an insight check to see if he knows any more at all.
Okay, sure. Give me an insight check. Because of the situation, I'm gonna say do it at advantage. And
Okay.
also the DC for it will be extremely low. So as long as you on an advantage roll at like at least a 5, you should get it.
An 18, or a 19, and a 9.
Okay, yeah, so you easily discern that he is not lying.
Alright. Very well, I believe you. Your friend here, what does he know? Any more than you?
I don't know. He's just some dickhead who knows a bit of magic. I mean, he's a bit higher ranked than me, but I don't know. I barely know him.
Okay, well, we'll see what he knows when he wakes up. What's his name?
His name is Tobias.
Well, me and Tobias are gonna have a chat, and I guess we'll just have to sit here and watch. So, we'll shake Tobias to wake him up again.
Okay, we'll say that he just wakes up.
Cool. I'm gonna say hi, Tobias. I have a few questions for you. I hope that you answer them. Otherwise, you'll end up like your buddy Blake.
Okay, give me intimidation at advantage.
Okay.
6. Yeah, he's
6.
not very impressed.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off his hand armor on both of his hands. And I'm going to grab both of his hands. And I'm going to decay them.
Okay, give me the damage roll, since you can't miss.
Five.
Yeah, and as you decay his hand, you decay it almost to the point where his hand's about to just fall off limp from just being frayed. And he says, "My God, what kind of manner of magic is this?"
Not your concern. I'm not answering your questions, you're answering mine. There's a village that wasn't too far from here. What do you know about it?
We burnt it.
So you were there.
By order?
Why?
Something about a box.
What about the box?
I don't know. They just said that there was a box we were looking for. And then he describes a symbol on the box, and you recognize it as the box that the artifact was kept in.
Okay. Where are they taking that box?
I don't know. The last place I heard that it was going was the capital.
Okay, interesting. The capital. And the man that was in the black armor, there was a man in the red robe. Tell me about the man in the red robe. Or the red coat, whatever the hell it was.
I
Who
don't
is he?
know of who he is. All I know is that he gave order to the captain.
So he's above the captain. Interesting. This captain, tell me about him.
He's... I don't know. He's our leader. A very strong man.
What kind of affiliation does he have? Any type of magic that he uses, or do you just use that sword?
I mean, I've never seen him use magic, but I've heard that he has unrivaled power.
Remains to be seen. This celebration, is it safe to assume that he's going to be there?
Of course.
And I know you're not of the royal guards, per se. I mean, you fall under the line, but not... You're far straight from a royal guard, because they at least seem to do things to make stuff better. Why is it that... No, let me ask this instead. How big is your captain's squadron? How many people are there?
I don't know. The squadron cycles. Among his personal guard, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. He doesn't keep many men on him personally during events such as this.
So if I wanted to infiltrate it, it would be quite difficult, wouldn't it? If I had to get close to him, what would I have to do?
To get close? I don't know. During the event, he'll be out more in the public.
What if I wanted to get to him before the event?
I don't know. He's gone off for some sort of meeting. We haven't even seen him. All we received was orders. I don't know where he is.
Some sort of meeting where?
I don't know.
I see you guys are wearing different coats. Is that to show established rank or establish that one of you uses magic?
It establishes that I'm the spellcaster.
But you are of a higher rank. What rank would that be?
And so basically he lays out a sort of basic structure where it seems as though he's only... So the other two guys were the lowest rank. This guy's only one above that. So very low.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I don't have much of a use for you guys anymore. I don't quite know what I want to do with you yet. Can't have you exactly going back and telling this captain of yours that you were interrogated by some surviving member of the village that you burnt down. The leader of the house. Or actually, I do have a question about the leader of the house. There was a...
Yeah, and as soon as you say
man
all
at
of
a
that, you see
trunk.
this guy has like a look of like, oh, I'm fucked, aren't I?
There was a man, and I'll describe my father, and a boy. The mother was killed. Where are they?
I don't know.
Did you take any survivors? Did you take any captors? Or take any prisoners?
My part of the squadron did not.
That doesn't mean you didn't see anything.
I don't know. I don't know of them
don't
taking anyone.
know. Well, certainly you've been on missions like this before. Do you typically take survivors? Do you take prisoners? Or do you just butcher everyone and burn down their homes?
If they're of use, then they're taken.
If they're of use, what classifies someone as useful?
It depends on the situation. I don't know. I don't make the decisions.
On that situation, what would make them useful?
If they had a relevance to the box, maybe?
Well, he would in fact have a lot of relevance to the box. Seeing how he was the head of the house. And I do say house because we are a form of nobility, so that does about all the info that I need. He's probably taken alive with my brother, so I'll have to go ahead and find him. And I know you probably don't know anything about that because you don't seem to know much of anything. I'll have to figure out what I'll do with you. You guys go ahead and sit tight here. And with all the new information, I'm just going to go talk to everybody and say, what do you think we should do with them? Do we kill them? Do we leave them? Do we bring them back to the capital with us? What should we do?
So, Hista suggests that you guys should take them to Protos and drop them off there, somewhere where... Because obviously they're not a threat anymore, they can't really do anything. And Protos is a sort of allied town, so you know that nothing would really get leaked or anything about it. But Hista doesn't want to just abandon them here to die in the woods. Vilra suggests that they should be eliminated now, so that way there's a 0% chance of anyone even knowing this happened.
Interesting. I understand what you think, Hista, but the thing is, word of mouth can still go around and they can talk about what happened here. And there's not exactly many people that match our description, so it would be pretty easy to discern, especially someone that's so hard to find as yourself. I'm sure you are aware of that.
And yeah, she acknowledges it.
And Vilra, you propose just outright murdering them. How about we meet in the middle? Why don't I decay both their hands and then decay their tongues so they can't speak? They'll have no form of communicating. They'll still be alive, more or less. So they still get to live, but they don't get to speak or communicate that this ever happened. I can't really think of any other way they'd be able to communicate that they met us. Can you?
Right, and Hista says, what kind of living even is that?
The one with a pulse.
At that point, you might as well just put them out of their misery.
Well, I could, but especially the one in the black. I'm not too keen on letting him live since he took part in burning my village and killing my whole everyone that I knew and loved. So, I don't think he gets to live. Not that I don't think he gets to live, I know he doesn't get to live. He is dying. It's the other one, on the other hand. The one with the messed up leg. Him I don't know what to do with, because he wasn't a part of this, although he is a part of the squadron. Otigos, what do you think?
And he says, well, Protos was lacking labor. Yeah, his leg might be a bit drab, but I'm sure they could find some kind of use of him.
Very well, I'm sure that they could as well. It's settled. The man in the black dies, the one in the red gets to go. That sounds fair enough. Because one of them has to die. I can't just let them both live. And I know you wanted to have them both live, Hista, and Vilra, you wanted them both to die, so we'll save one of them. The other one is dying. Does that sound fair?
God, I love compromise where no one is satisfied.
Does it sound fair?
And they go along with your decision, as it seems like you hold most of the cards in this situation.
Alright, cool. I'm going to take the Tobias's helmet off.
Okay.
And I'm going to take this guy's helmet off. I didn't ask his name because I never gave a fuck. I'm going to say, perfect. I want you to sit here and watch this, and let this be a message to you that if you tell anyone about what happened, I will come for you, and this will be your fate. Sound fair?
Yes.
And by the way, you will not be going back to the capital. You're going to be going to a village, and you will be working there. You'll still live. I'm sure you'll be paid, but the soldier life doesn't seem to fit you anymore. Would you
No.
agree?
No, it does not at all.
They wouldn't have much use for a soldier with a bum leg, I would imagine, right?
No, of course not.
There's not exactly fixing that.
So just do your best to watch. You can listen to it. It does make a rather interesting noise whenever this happens. Tobias, you still there? You still with me?
Yes.
Just do your best to sit tight, okay?
Yeah, and you can see he's already in very rough shape.
Cool. I'm grabbing his head and I'm decaying his fucking skull.
Okay. And you don't need to make an attack roll since he's already done for.
Yep. 4.
Just to see what you would have gotten.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
And you guys load up this other soldier and begin making your way towards Protos.
Now remember, my friend, I said not a word.
Okay, and you guys arrive there the next night. It is now very late afternoon, and you guys have arrived.
You need the soldier token?
It was.
No, not really.
29.
You don't necessarily have to. Don't even
No,
worry
I'm
about
not. I'm not gonna. I'm not
Cool.
gonna worry about it.
First thing I'm gonna do is say, gentlemen, I will.
We'll say that you guys just like dropped him off, like.
Oh, I was gonna
take him straight to here and say, hey, I have a gentleman here that's looking for work. His previous line of work seemed to have fallen through due to his injury that he's been affiliated with, and he's looking for a way to make money. I know that you need hands on deck, so he's here to offer his services.
Right, and the foreman.
Isn't that right?
The foreman says, "Well, that kind of leg, he wouldn't be much help on the farm, but I'm sure there's something he can do around here."
Splendid. He's yours now.
Okay, and he takes him off into town to have him go find some other kind of work.
Cool. All right. Now that we are back here, oh, and by the way, I'm definitely taking those 2 horses that they rode up on. So just so you know, I brought those. That shit came with me.
Sure. Okay.
Because now what I'm going to do is go return the horse to the bishop.
Okay.
So I'll go in and talk to the bishop and return it to him and let him know what happened.
Okay. Yeah, and you update him on everything that happened. He says, "Oh, well, it sounds like you've had a lively few days since I last saw you."
Something of the bunch.
And yeah, as you relay what happened in the village and the armor and all that, he sees
what
that
Dimitri's
it's
doing.
do what?
And what Dimitri's doing.
Right. And he takes a look at the armor, the remnants of it that you've brought, and he says, "I know someone in the capital who might be able to get this in working order. Perhaps not to the way it was before, but to the point where it would be usable for you on the field."
Perfect. If he'd be as kind as to give me his name, I would appreciate it.
All right, and He writes it down and hands you a note with a location for a shop that can repair it in the capital.
Perfect.
Okay, and with that, the night is yours to do what you want in Protos.
Well, while we're here, we may as well go spend a night at the inn.
Right, you'll be spending your night at the inn, but I'm saying you have free time to do an action.
Cool. I'm curious.
Right, and this is sort
With
of
my
the
newfound
layout and
power, what
everything.
I'd find at the crypt.
Okay, yeah, and as you approach the crypt, you feel that sort of connection again. You feel as though your training has already taken you very far, and so you feel like you may get less results, but you can still decide to focus your power here.
So I don't feel that deep a connection now.
Yeah, it's still stronger than at the ruined village and in the woods, but it's not. While it's still a strong connection, you don't feel like you can do that much unique training, so you would basically just be refining what you've already been doing, so you feel like you wouldn't gain as much.
Let's see then. If that's the case, I'll just go talk to our new person.
All right.
Vilra. And we can just talk whenever we get to the end. That's fine.
Okay, so we'll say that you spend your evening talking with Vilra. And so you see her, she's outside of the inn right now, writing in some kind of notebook. Okay, you approach.
So, would it be too much of an intrusion to ask what you're writing? Or what you're writing about?
I'm making a plan on another way to deal with the man in red.
This guy, what do you know about him? What and why? What has he done to you?
What he's done... Ugh. I'm trying to, remember... I'm trying to keep voices straight, so that way, let's say,
Honestly,
two people start talking, then you'll know who's who.
I'll know who's who. Just fucking talk like a normal conversation, and it'll be fine. Or just shake their icon. They don't have to worry about it.
So she says, well, and she seems to pause, as it seems as though she's not quite ready to open up about everything to you yet. And then she says, all you need to know is that we have the same enemies. You can count me among your allies.
Well, I'm glad to know that. If you ever end up wanting to talk about it, let me know, because you know how he plays into my story. If knowing how he'll play into yours might be of more use to you as well, we might be able to help each other out better, let me know.
And she suggests that the man in red might be a bit harder to reach, but this captain in black, that might be a target that would be more achievable, especially as a group.
I think that he would lead us to the man in red. I think he'll have information on it since he received direct orders from him. So I think the way that we get to him, who seems to be above the man in black that I saw, I think that we would be able to get to him by taking him out. He'll have more information than anyone else.
Yes, but once we get to the city, we'll have to plan accordingly.
What do you have in mind?
We'll have to see what the city might hold for us, as we may need all the strength we can get.
Fair enough, then I guess the only thing left to do is rest up and then start heading out.
Right, and you guys rest for the day and head out in the morning.
Ooh!
Okay, and that evening you arrive in the city. Okay,
Damn.
the area up at the top that is not shown is the palace, the royal palace, which is sealed. It is locked off.
What's this?
Hold on, I'm just updating things so that way everything is shown. Okay, so you have arrived. And Otigos says that he's going to set up outside so that way he actually has a place to store the carriage and stuff for while you're operating in the city.
Why don't we not say to him, it may even be better if you go back to Protos, because over here they will not be kind to you, and I think you're very aware of that. If you head over there, then come back in 9 days' time, around the time of the celebration.
So, for
That might
gameplay
be better
reasons,
for
he's
you.
sticking around in case you need to travel somewhere else.
Okay, but I have the horses. I have 2 horses.
Yes, but that would... I mean, you would just burn more days. Since they're
That's
slower.
fine. You are the storyteller. Alright, cool.
Okay, so
Well,
you
never
sort of
mind. I'll
have
play
a little bit of... You sort of have like a mini free time, so you can't do like a full activity, but you can sort of explore the city while Hista is searching for a inn for the group. And Vilra is going to meet a contact. So this is your time to just kind of wander.
Ooh, what's that skull?
Right, so you move over here, and you see that it is a military building. And as you enter, you see that this is where the bounties are available. Would you like to look at the bounties?
Sure.
These are the currently available bounties.
Okay. All right, cool. I guess I'll go see what this little exclamation point's about.
Okay, and as you approach this grand cathedral that you walk up to, is certainly a church a step above the one in Protos.
Not as good as Pastor Dino. Or not Pastor, Bishop Dino.
And you see a man outside who looks pretty anxious about something. And upon whenever he sees you, he says, "You one of them adventuring types?" As he sees you have like your equipment pack and all that kind of stuff, and you sort of have your rugged adventuring gear on.
Depends on what you're about to tell me.
He said, "Well, I need someone to head out east. There's this old ruins, right? Well, underneath there's this treasure. There's something in particular that I want from down there. Anything else is yours. But there is something particular I'm looking for."
Are you going to beat around the bush, or are you going to tell me?
He says, "Well, are you interested?"
Sure. I mean, you got to tell me what it is I'm looking for here.
And he begins to describe this ceremonial scepter that was part of these old rituals. And he says that it should be down there.
How'd you come about this information? How do you know it's reliable?
And he said, "Well, reliable? Well, because we had someone go out there. The only thing is, they came back in pretty rough shape. They're still inside right now, being treated right for all the injuries they got. It's quite dangerous, but...
Dangerous how?
Well, there's a...
Hold on. Alright, good. My bad.
Okay, There's a creature down there, an undead, that roams. Seems to have the place claimed. Anything that goes down there, immediately it attacks.
That could be interesting. Yeah, I'm interested. I don't know. I'll do it.
Okay, so you have accepted this quest. Okay, so you now, at some point, need to go down there. There is no deadline for this quest.
Okay.
And once you get to the actual map, I'll drop an exclamation for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to this one.
Okay, and you see that this is the sort of entrance to the main palace area, and the royal guards, which you can tell that they're definitely a step above the ones that you've seen, not only around from the attack and the ones you fought, but also compared to the ones out in like Protos, for example. These royal guards have much better equipment, they seem much more disciplined, and they just have a much stronger sort of aura about them. And they tell you that the palace area is off limits.
Not looking to go in, just looking to look.
Yeah, and they're not. They weren't like aggressive with like you need to step off. They were just letting you know that the area is not accessible.
Okay. Is it normally accessible? Was this just a special occasion?
And they say that the area is always off limits to, unless there is a reason for entrance.
So if someone was like, I don't know, part of like a noble house, would they be able to get in?
No.
Really? How come?
Just being noble in and of itself doesn't allow entrance to see the royals. Unless requested or having a purpose to enter, no entry is allowed. For anyone, regardless of their standing. Even if they weren't of noble standing, had they a valid reason and evidence of reason to enter, they'd be allowed.
What kind of reason would that be? I imagine how many people get to go in.
And they don't seem to really give you much to go on in that regard.
So they don't tell me anything.
No.
All right. Well, let's see what this is then.
Okay, and you see that this seems to be some sort of university where there's lots of studying happening, of both the standard and magic variety.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm heading in.
All right, so you enter in, and you immediately see a man with glasses and a nice suit turn to you immediately. And he says, "Oh, yeah, what can I do for you, sir?"
I'm here to learn about specific kinds of magic.
Oh, and what kind of magic would that be?
Well, I've heard rumors that there's this almost like necrotic magic where it's like a necromancy type of thing, and I thought that was so interesting. I wanted to know if you had anything on that.
Ah, yes. We might have a thing or two. Well, I can look around. I may have to dig them up. I don't think anything like that's been requested in quite a while. But certainly.
Okay, cool.
So because it's almost the end of the day, you arrived late. You don't have full time to spend here to actually study or anything like that. But you have made your presence known, and you have sort of, we'll say, like, registered with this academy.
Am I able to take it to the inn that I'm staying at to read, or no?
No, because he doesn't have it on hand right now. They're about to be closed for the day, but he says that he will dig it out for you to come back and get at some point.
I'll swing by tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess I meet back here because it's towards the end of the day. Did you find an inn?
All right. And as you arrive, we'll say that you've wandered the streets and you all end up at the inn, which is right here. It's this bottom left building.
Cool.
Okay, so this is now your sort of base of operations until the deadline is met.
Okay.
All right, and it is the first. The day is yours.
Today I'm going to pick up a book from the university about something that might be able to help out with my powers, but while I'm out, I'm also going to try to find whatever information I can on this celebration and see potentially where openings might be to get to this man in the black armor and potentially the red if he's around. So I'm going to try to gather up information on here. Villara, I trust you're probably trying to do the same.
Yes, of course.
Hista, any word on being able to become part of the Royal Guard? Have you gone to talk to the ones out in front of the gates to the fucking castle or whatever the hell you said it was?
So since she was the main one sort of registering for the inn and all that kind of stuff, she didn't really have a lot of time for that. But she will be checking it out shortly and looking into it about what she needs to do.
Well, if you want to, I'm on my way to the university. If you'd like to come with, it's on the way.
And she says that she would, but she has something else that she needs to do before going to the recruitment area. So
Fair
basically,
enough.
the place
You wanna
that she
turn in
would,
those years.
the place that she'll register will be the same place you got the bounty, which is the sort of military center.
Fair enough. You should probably go see about selling those ears. Putting those ears with the bounty guy, I imagine.
Yeah, yep, of course.
With the legendary beast that I killed, I did mention I was taking its like everything off of it, right?
Yes, you do
Could
have
I
the pelt.
potentially bring those? I have the pelt, but the antlers that I had, can I bring that to the bounty guy to show that I killed some sort of legendary beast?
I'm gonna say no, because there was nothing put out about that. Just having killed an animal doesn't really mean anything.
Okay, well then what the hell is he getting? What's she getting for the goblins?
So it's because they was specifically put out, kill goblins,
Oh,
get
okay.
money.
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
But it's because the creature that you killed wasn't even really known by anyone. It wasn't threatening anyone. It was just kind of in the woods.
Yeah.
That there was not really anything you could do about it unless you just wanted to sell the pelt.
Yeah, no.
Because anyone else would just see it as like, yeah, it was just a bear. Even though you know that it was more than a bear, and its hide is a lot tougher than a bear's hide, pelt.
Okay. Well, I ain't doing that. I'm just gonna head on over to the library, and on my way there, I'm gonna see what's going on with the side quest.
I'll move this one so that way it's not just the inn. Okay, yeah,
Or
so
I guess since I'm at the end, I can see what they need or what it is. So I'm literally there.
what is it?
The question mark that was at the end.
I was moving it because it wasn't at the end. It was at this building.
Oh. Okay, well then, I'm just gonna see what that quest is.
Okay, and so as you approach, you see a very distressed woman, and as you approach, she asked if you're heading out to any of the nearby cities anytime soon.
Well, should I have a reason to?
She said, "Well, I don't know, but if you're heading to Monos, please, I need you to deliver this letter."
Monos.
And you do know that Monos is the city that is northeast of here.
Okay, well, to whom, who's the letter concerned to? Who's getting it?
She said, it's for my brother, please. No one else is willing to go out there right now. And I need it delivered quickly.
I suppose I could help you out. I do have business outside of here, towards
So
the east.
the deadline for this quest will be the 4th.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, so you take the letter?
Yep.
Alright.
Now I'm going to the university.
Right, so you arrive at the university and you see that man with the glasses and suit again. As he says, "Oh, back so soon."
I said I was going to be returning, and I'm pretty interested in this. Seems like such a rare form of magic. I'd like to know about it.
And he says, well, our books are quite rare, so they mustn't leave the premises. I'm sure you understand. But feel free to study it as much as you want here.
Sounds good.
Okay, so you spend your day at the library?
Yep, searching the necrotic stuff.
Okay, and so you begin researching through all this necrotic magic. And you do learn a new spell from all of this. This spell being Mothana. So just Thana, but throw an MA in front of it.
Okay.
And what Mothana does is that essentially you pick a point, and then around it, it's basically an AoE attack. So it's the same thing, just a d6 plus your 1 for being necrotic, Denasi. Or Denami. You will still get that, but it'll be an AoE so it can hit multiple enemies.